Hello, today we're going to talk about 5 underrated Korean dramas. And the metric that I'm going to be using is MyDramaList. And I'm going to start off by looking up the 10 highest rated dramas. So the highest rated drama on MyDramaList is currently at 9.2, and it is Twinkling Watermelon. The other 9 are sitting each at a 9.1 rating average. And some other observations in the top 10. 5 of these dramas have over 100,000 users that put it on their watch list. So that includes dropping it or, on their plan to watch, currently watching. So in this list, I would say the most unique is Flower of Evil, and it's also the most rated in the top 10 at 64,000 ratings. I would say it's the most unique genre compared to the other 9, and that would contribute to the ratings. And it's because of its storyline, and it's just a concept that is very different from the other dramas on this list. And when I say that the other 9 dramas have a lot more in common, I mean 3 of them are literally by the same writer and director. Another interesting observation is number 2, Move to Heaven, and Hospital Playlist Season 1. They both have a similar amount of reviews, so I thought that was an interesting observation. But another one in which has similarities in this top 10 list is 3 of these dramas are released within the past year and a half of me looking up this top 10, right? So I would say those 3 are specifically the most popular dramas right now. We also have 2 dramas that are similar in their genre of just, traveling back in time and, making the main character's main goal is trying to change some sort of timeline. So with that said, here are my 5 underrated dramas that I think have similarities and elements from the top 10 most popular list. It's just they're not as popular, and obviously they might have more flaws than the others because, it's a lower production quality, and all those factors might make it so that these dramas are underrated. So first of all, we have Hit the Spot. This drama follows 2 friends that are also coworkers. They end up starting a podcast, and they talk about the erotic side of love and how that is a big part of relationships. But really, this drama ends up being just as wholesome as Hospital Playlist, even though the topics that they discuss is more seen as taboo and adult. It's also somewhat based on real people's experiences, so that adds a layer of authenticity and sincerity in this drama that I feel like is also there in those slice of life genres. Next, we have Missing the Other Side. This is about a guy who can see ghosts. So it's kind of like sentimental and, trying to move forward through grief, similar to Move to Heaven. And, has all the regrets that they might have, similar to Twinkling Watermelon and Lovely Runner. It also has that wholesome storyline, and it's not exactly focused on romance as well. It's focused more on this community aspect, finding that community. And maybe, they end up like the Hospital Playlist group where they're just lifelong friends. Next, we have Unlock My Boss. This is about main character who's trying to get a job at a big company, but he's also really trying to be an actor, and he ends up finding this phone that is trying to convince him to be, trying to convince him that he's a real person trapped inside the phone and that, they need to work together to figure it out, right? But yeah, I think that's a whole concept. Compared to the top 10, it would be most similar to Twinkling Watermelon. The main character is really just kind of there for the vibes at first, just really trying to do his part, right? But then again, it's also that wholesome found family or friendship focused, like trying to get into it. There is a little bit of romance, but there's just so much more rich in the friendship aspects of this drama. And the next one I would say is a combination of Flower of Evil, Hospital Playlist, and Weak Hero. Basically, these two high school students, one of them has a secret, just like in Flower of Evil, one of the main characters has a secret. There's also a lot of trauma involved. And there's a lot of action and violence. But the thing is, because these characters are so traumatized, they're they both become literally delusional and wishing and deluding this life where they're in a slice of life type of romance instead. So like imagine the characters in Hospital Playlists or whatever, and they get stuck in Flower of Evil instead. It's those kind of characters. They're meant to be for the slice of life romance genre, but they're trapped in this traumatizing, action packed, attempted assassination type vibe, fighting for their lives when they really just could have been a normal high school couple, like in Twinkling Watermelon or something. And finally, we have Through the Darkness. And I'm putting Through the Darkness on here because it feels like not a lot of people watched it, but a lot of dramas in this genre, they use, you know, they use the same real life cases to make their storylines. But Through the Darkness is about the time of when they brought profiling from the FBI to South Korea. So it's about those specific cases that they were starting to use profiling on at the time. And while it's not exactly the same as like Flower of Evil, where they're more focused on the main character and how their secret affects their dynamic with everyone else, especially when they're married to a detective, Through the Darkness, the main character is trying to think like those people that he is trying to catch. He's trying to get in that mindset and understand them. So that's a unique perspective of a character because you don't usually see profiling in dramas in general. Usually you see characters that have nothing to do with investigation work on criminals being the ones having to resolve the crimes, right? So that does it for my 5 underrated K dramas. If you have your own suggestion of what drama you feel is underrated, leave a comment. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with the next one. And also let me know if you want me to make another video on underrated dramas that are similar to the most popular and highest rated ones.